Hello everyone, Stropes here again. Today I'm working on an update to Boba Blue list. I used to run George Hudson's list quite a bit on Karabast, so this is just an updated version of that. Deck link will be posted in the description. There's not a ton of changes, at least like overall, but I'll get into the deck tech portion of it. The few changes that I have made here at the start, trying to do that pretty quick so we can get into the games. All the games will be time stamped if you want to skip ahead to something, but this is a kind of traditional Boba Blue list in the sense that we've got the copy of Restock here, then we've got Vigilance, and we've got the Bounty Hunter group. So those three different cards allow us to go into an infinite loop and mill the opponent out that way. So that's kind of the one of the primary strategies of the deck, probably the primary strategy of this build. We've kind of leaned a little bit in that direction. One of the main play lines, what you would always do is you would go into you would immediately claim and then go into a 3-cost removal event to be able to use Boba's ability to play a 1-drop. In the original versions of this build, that would be Greedo, 3 copies of Greedo, 3 copies of Mining Guild Tie, which was not a card that you saw in many other lists, but that's because it allows you to come back with 1. There's not a whole lot of new 1-drops in yellow or blue. There's stuff like Hylobond Enforcers, but they don't really synergize with the deck. So what I did is I switched out some of the Mining Guild ties with Enticing Reward, because that is a bounty card that lets us search the top 10 and we can take 2 cards into our hand. If it was a unique unit that we got the bounty on, we keep both of those cards. If it is non-unique, then we only keep one of them. But it fulfills a similar role to Mining Guild tie, but it isn't a unit, but it does cost 1. So we can potentially use a removal and then like play that on something too. But it does mess with the play lines a little bit if you're trying to go along with that original thing. I just didn't know if Mining Guild tie was the strongest thing to be doing with all of these new cards. We've got some new removal, so maybe we just want to remove, and even if we can't drop a Mining Guild tie, that might not be such a huge issue because we should be able to stick an Enticing Reward on something and get rid of it later. At least that is the hope. We're still on 3 Entrenched. Been back and forth about that. A lot of the deck has now been tailored to removal, so if you're familiar with Magic, familiar with that kind of thing, this is your first kind of 1 or 2 videos watching Star Wars Unlimited content. This is kind of a control heavy deck. You're just trying to bounce or remove your opponent's stuff until we can get to our win con, which is to mill them out. So similar to Magic, milling, except in SWU you take damage instead of just automatically lose the game if you would draw when your deck is empty. Instead, in Star Wars Unlimited, you still have a chance because you can still keep playing just by taking damage on your base. But we're really going for the mill strategy because we're not running, like I said, no Mining Guild ties. We are not running Fet's Fire Spray. We've switched them out for Fell the Dragons, which defeats a unit with 5 or more power. So we've gone a full tilt. We're also running Rivals Falls, which just defeats any unit, which includes leaders. And we're also on 2 Evacuates, which bounce everything back to the hand. These Evacuates have helped me quite a bit when I've been playtesting this before. We'll see how that goes into the matches coming up. But being able, sometimes your opponent will just span the board with 4 things, you know, and you can just claim and then play Evacuate, and then they bounce everything back. And maybe you've got 10 damage on your base at that point. They're trying to really push to you, but Evacuate kind of is a mini reset, not as good as like a Super Laser Blast, which is why I've still got 2 of those, because they can just drop them all back out and try it again. But oftentimes by the time they start to do that, you can deploy your Boba, kill 1 or 2 of their units, and then get the initiative and then start dropping stuff. Because also if they're trying to play like a lot of units back onto the board and they're kind of small, they're going to be taking a whole lot of actions to do that, and if they drop something really large, we can really just kill it with like a Rivals Fall or something if they do that. So they're really kind of screwed either way that they try and answer the Evacuate, as long as we play it right, play it correctly. We're off of main deck Spark of Hope or Spark of Rebellion, I think. They're multiple spark cards now, but there's a 2-cost yellow heroic card that allows you to discard. It was being played off aspect in Boba decks because this version of Boba Fett is not a heroic card, but it's worth it to pay the 4 to get a discard from your opponent. We've replaced those with Bazine because Bazine is in color, in aspect with us, so there's a pretty awesome combo too, or at least mini combo with Evacuate, where when you play Bazine, you look at your opponent's hand, you can discard a card and then they draw, so it's also slowly getting cards out of their deck. But also with Evacuate, you can just play Bazine again, so there's been plenty of times where I've been on 8 resources and just played an Evacuate right into a Bazine, and then I just pull whatever their next big play is going to be, or whatever would be the most troublesome unit or a car, sometimes an event. If they only have one way to get rid of an Avenger, then we know, okay, we can pull that Vanquish, pull that Rival Spall, and be free to drop our Avenger next turn unless they top deck into something. So Evacuate plus Bazine can be really backbreaking on your opponent, and it also slowly thins out the deck. Bazine is also nice because she has a smuggle cost, so she can come out there. I've been trying to find some ways to put Dr. Pershing in the main deck. This deck is pretty card hungry. You play a lot of cards because Boba readies resources, so Mining Guild Tie again on 1 used to be kind of an answer for that because it gives you some card draw with its on attack ability, but Pershing is another good option for that, but for now, I've kind of settled on the Enticing Reward, but I might switch those out in between matches or something. But other than that, we'll get into the games. Alright, first match here against Boba Green. We'll see how much new stuff they've got. Sometimes these new decks are on Maul, so we'll see what Rixley has in store for us. So you might have to wait a second. Okay. Do we have the 3? I mean, I'm Your Father is less good into Boba because so many shielded units. But I don't think we will mulligan. We can lead with the Inferno Fort. We'll do both of those. And we're just going to forego that 3 cost play. Vigilance. It's just like if we want to stick on the bottom, like we're definitely on a mill plan now. Maybe we'll put this Greedo on the bottom. Okay. Although power into Greedo would have been nice, but it's alright. Definitely not a mill mirror, so don't need that restock. We probably just need to keep the damage off our base as long as possible, so we're probably going to power them. We can fell the dragon, but it's not going to help us that much next turn. We don't want to play anything on the ground anyway, like with the Greedo, because we don't want them reasoning right to not play the Greedo anyways, because they can ECL out something into that. So now it's just whether we want the damage. Might as well go for it. So I'll claim there, which allows them to immediately kill the Inferno 4, but that's not completely terrible. Fell the Dragon will be good into the Fire Spray, so kind of saving it for that. I'm assuming, yeah, okay. So we can make an opening, takedown, can hit Boba if we get his health down, or at least right now we're probably just looking to no good me dead him. So I'll probably put that on the bottom. This make an opening can at least get rid of their Star Viper next turn. Neither of us are on anything. I mean, they could play something for 4, but I'm just going to claim here. Okay, they've got their Boba unit. Be nice if we could draw into an evacuee, which we did. So they'll be, this is both of our Boba turns. Kind of need that. Oh man, the super laser. Maybe we're just gonna resource that super laser since we used to be. You would kind of keep that because it was one of the better, you know, closers for like fire sprays and all this other stuff that they would get out. But now we've got some other ways to do that. So we can resource back up to 5. To do on a tap. Let's tap their leader. Especially since we can evacuate next turn. But with like vigilance, we can also... Are they just like passing? We'll do Boba then. I'm gonna ECL super laser tech into him. It's like fine. Oh, so like if we attack at any of those, they can swing in with the Boba Fett. But if we hit the base, I mean, they can't kill him. Old rules. Yeah, okay, yeah, they could. Okay, they did it. They got it. But we can vigilance here. I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. We can even like keep no good to me deading their leader. We have to go up to 6 though. So I think we'll lead with defeating and milling. And then we can defeat their unit. And if they drop a fire spray, I mean, we will take the 5, but we can get rid of it pretty quick. And we'll be up to enough that we can no good to me dead Boba leader some more. Let's see what we hit. Laser tech, 4 LOM, a fire spray, and an armor. They made us discard our evacuate, which drew us into no good to me dead. Okay, so we'll get rid of one of those no good to me deads. Wonder if we should lead with Bazine to pull a fire spray if we have to. But they can't attack right away with the fire spray anyway, so I'm just gonna keep exhausting this leader. They know we have a Fell the Dragon though anyway. Play Toro. Let's Bazine them. Let's pull the Maul. We don't care about that barrage quite so much because we don't have a lot of units out. And we'll just claim here. Really kind of looking for a super laser blast. Although we don't have one, should have kept one. Because now we can't pull it and we can't cycle it, so we're in a kind of a bad spot. Or resource one of those. I knew there was a reason we should have kept one of those around. Probably over Fell the Dragon in this specific instance. But they don't have like anything really large. Let's put this reward on the Bazine. Yeah, it's probably a misplay. It's my first game today, so I'm not playing as well as I should. Okay, we'll power them. The reason I put that enticing reward on the Bazine was because, of course, they would sacrifice it, but now they've got to think about it, because if they do choose Bazine, then we're going to draw. So if I was them, I'd probably choose the Crafty Smuggler, but we'll see what they do. Yep. Okay. And then we're going to have to claim here. We can't use Fell the Dragon on any of their stuff, so. Yeah, we're getting like a lot of stall, but this isn't going to help. If they can play like multiple bounty hunters too, this is the problem with like leaving Toro Calican out, is if they play like more bounty hunters and can keep readying him, then we're like in a lot of trouble. So let's waylay him. Because he can do like 6 to us in one turn if we like leave him out. We'll put that on Greedo, I guess. We can draw into another thing that is, I mean, kind of tripping us up is we still have only drawn into one vigilance. We really need another one, or even like a bounty hunter crew. Like any of these things would help. We haven't drawn any bounty hunter crews, I don't think, at all. Which allows us to like pull back our vigilance and stuff. Okay. We can resource that Bazine. We can always smuggle her out later. It was a rough choice here too with like resourcing, because we kind of had to keep everything we did last turn so that we could pull. I mean, like, we kind of even need to like pull and evacuate at this point, because what have they got? Like 10, 11, 12, like 14 on board. I mean, I guess we'll do this. And then let's get Greedo. And then I'll probably discard the Greedo to try and kill that. We can pull a lot of stuff here, though. Greedo is unique, so we can keep both. I think we're going to need... What can we even do this turn, though? We can... We're on 4, so we can entrenched... We can double entrenched and then try and like start to vigilance them. I think we're going to have to do that to keep the damage off our base. So I'm assuming they'll hit with Boba here. I guess if they like have a fire spray, then we kind of have to get rid of that too, because we've only gotten one of those. Okay, the Bazine. Okay, so they pulled the reward. We'll get our last entrench though, I guess, and a vigilance. Although the ordering on that is kind of weird. Because it looked like... Oh, we got that the way that... I guess they decided that we drew before they picked. Which does make sense, so... But we've got like double copies of like pretty much everything. Okay, so we're going to entrench the Boba. And then whatever they don't hit our base with, we're going to entrench that too. Actually, we can save the vigilance because that can get rid of the Star Viper. So we probably want to get Toro with that too. And then we can claim there. Now it's a decision when we do use vigilance, whether we are healing versus defeating. We're going to resource Greedo because obviously we have jammed up the ground over there for them. I think because long term, we really have to like defeat. We could defeat and heal, but we really need to start trying to like mill them out. Let's get rid of that Star Viper, which just leaves one from that Bazine. We got another fire spray, so they should have one left unless they've resourced it. Those are the kind of main things we're worrying about at this point. We can still answer it with Fell the Dragon. Really, because we made an error and resourced both of those Super Laser Blasts, it's not like we're waiting on one of those to... Okay, did they buff Bazine? Sure. I wonder if they're doing... I mean, like, I guess we'll spin the last entrenched. Can't really be taking, like, 5 on our base with a potential fire spray out there. Okay, but, like, evacuating at this point is kind of weird, too. Because we don't like just bounce this all back. Although that leaves Boba out still, and we can always like rivals fall. Maybe I'll do the Inferno 4. We can like land an Avenger and maybe just slowly tick away at them. But again, it just depends on like what they're doing with that kind of stuff. Because just 3 out isn't going to do it. They're gonna probably just get rid of Bazine there. What is our Bazine on for smuggle? On 4? Okay. Interesting. Okay, because they're gonna barrage. Okay, that barrage will get rid of the Avenger, which is like okay. I mean, it's not. No Greedo. Now we're just kind of waiting for our. Actually, we can do Bazine. Why not? Okay, so we can Maul. These both have ambush, but Maul has ambush overwhelm, so he's who we'll be picking. Okay, and there's 4 Lam. And then we can just take down him. I'm gonna resupply. We'll claim here. It's just like we're just waiting to draw our stuff. Waylay. Maybe we need to like stop resourcing here. How many crews do we still have even? Are there still 2 crews in the deck? Wow. I think there must be, right? Yeah, 2 crews and a vigilance, so 3 out of these 13. We'll just waylay this spacer. Just to keep the 2 off. I mean, if we have to rivals fall something, we can, but... It's just like, if they spam, if they play like, how many more? Let's pass. What do they have? Just trying to check like their spacers. They got another spacer in there. I think they probably don't have like any Vaders, I guess. Okay, so I mean, at a certain point we can just like evacuate and just try and like last until the end. But I'm just trying to figure out like when that should be. We don't have any more Bazines. But we can't like leave 5 out for our base, so. Leaving 5 out on board is just like not really tenable at the moment. Okay, so we can like mill them out this turn with a crew. Which I guess is what we'll do. Let's get our vigilance back and we will ambush. I guess unless I just have like a mall, that might be a bad idea, but just depends on... Okay, so use Bazine to do that. And then we can vigilance, we'll defeat, and we'll get whatever else they've got exactly in there. This is a little sloppier than it should have been. I should have kept one of those super laser blasts. It should not have gone on this long, but because I resourced it, it kind of forced us into this entrenched line. So we got the last 3, which is like a Bazine and stuff. So like, I don't know what, I think they're just like out of it, but they're not conceding. I mean, I have no idea what they would even try and do here. Because we can just kind of like, gonna try that. But I mean, we're just gonna rivals fall that and then they're out. And then, yeah, they're locked out of the game, whether they're gonna concede here or not. Let's see, can we like, okay. Let's do vigilance, and if they're not gonna concede, I guess we heal and defeat, and we defeat Bazine. And then we'll pass. And then I guess I am your father, the Boba Fett. Okay, and then let's see. I don't know, like what they would even. Let's see, like Toro Calican. We like ambush into there, and then pull a power, I guess, right? And then we won't ambush, and we'll play that, and then super out. No hand, no nothing. I think that's okay. We'll GG them there. Alright, like I said, just like overall on that match, it should not have taken the 20 minutes that it did end up taking. I made a pretty big error early on when I thought maybe we didn't need these super laser blasts. We really did need them in the end, which forced us, like I talked about a moment ago, into that entrenched line, which just took a lot longer than it needed to, because we had the search and we had this stuff in our resource when we couldn't like pull them out with bounty hunter crews. I mean, because you want like at least one to be able to like loop if you have to, especially with search, because you can like bounty hunter crew search, play stuff, and get into that kind of a game. But it was just, yeah, too long. Shouldn't have done that. Should have kept the super laser blast. But we'll go into the next game here in a second. Alright, we're going to second game here against Custard Taiyaki? Custard, let's see here. They're on aggression. So we can try the Greedo, the claiming I am your father Greedo line. So I think we won't mulligan here. So we'll resource a Greedo in Inferno 4 and aim for the I'm your father on whatever they're playing. I'm expecting like a Migs, but we'll see. No Migs, just a tile in. We may need this entrenched, especially on their Kylo. Let me like ambush it with that. It's not like comes out on 4, so it does come out a little early. We'll do one super laser blast. I know in the last game we did both, which was a mistake, but we won't resource both. We'll just resource one. Try and keep it in our mind. Okay, so they let us go into this line. They've got a mercenary gunship, so we can go into our Greedo on the ground. Wow, mercenary gunship only costs 2. Okay, so no discarding to Greedo because it doesn't make sense. So they've got that gunship. We can pay 4 to steal it. Fell the dragon. I mean, I guess if at the very top in there on like a crate dragon, it could matter, but gosh. And I'm not, this Rival's Fall is less good here, because Kylo's like not as scary as like a Boba. I don't know, it's probably not going to let us, this mercenary gunship thing is not working, it's not letting us steal it. I'll ask them in chat though. I know it wasn't working like a week or 2 ago, but it seems like by now it should be fixed. But if not, I guess I can repeat it. I don't know if I even reported it last time. I know in like a game a while ago, but well, if it doesn't let us take it. Alright, nothing to click. I mean, I'll report that if I can remember, like, stick that back in there. Just because, like, 3 on there that I can't, like, deal with is, like, not super great for me. Let's see, though. What can we do? We'll be up to... Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to pass here because we can, like, entrench them. See if they want to deploy. Are they going to, like, buff it? Right. But now we can fell the dragon on it. But then Kylo's going to come out. But we'll do that. Hunting Nexu. Wow, this will put out like a lot. But we can entrench Kylo if we've got to. We can't go up to the crew. We need to keep the super laser blast. I think we're gonna have to. Maybe we'll put that there. We can power them and then entrench whatever is left. That's kind of why we had to go with that resourcing line there. It's just whether we want to like take some of that from Kylo. Ooh, it just kind of really depends on like if they like fallen lightsaber him or something. Might be really nasty. We really want a bounty hunter crew and get back like a power of the dark side or something. But I'm gonna claim here and just cross my fingers that they aren't gonna like play like some other upgrade on him that buffs his like toughness at all. Okay, they did not. Good for us then. Although I don't know if we want to power. We might want like a fell the dragon or something. We're gonna ambush. Let's get fell the dragon just because, like I said, if they've got like a crate dragon or something, then that's not gonna be good for us. We'll go Boba Fett here now to start trying to control the board. They're going to guild target Boba 15 or more damage on the base, but I don't think there will be because we're going to be getting rid of these units. We'll claim here, and then we can immediately just kill that gunslinger. I don't need... Actually, I mean, we can entrench the crate dragon too, but let's see. Let's get this last unit. I'm gonna do that. Let's pull that. Although that was probably gonna draw them into something that they can play. Guess not. If we can land our Avenger here, I think we should be in a pretty good spot. Do we have... Wait, don't have like any vigilances is the problem. Do we need to bounty hunter crew for like a power? Probably not. We're in like a little bit of a stuck position here. I mean, we can crew into that. Maybe we'll get an Iron Father. Okay, I think they're GGing us here because there's not... Yeah. I mean, we had like board control at this point. I mean, they did get us up to 18, but next turn we were gonna like Avenger lock them out of the game. They could have played it out, but I mean, they're really stuck there, like down to nothing. And I thought they might have like a crate dragon top end, but I think they kind of like stopped resourcing anyway too. So probably not. It's one of those I think those new kind of glass cannon double red decks where, I mean, yeah, you stop. You're just trying to win by an early round, and if you don't win, then you don't win. So and we had like enough removal to kind of stop them at that point. But that will be the second game. Alright, going into our third match here against Ray Red. Excited to see that. I know it's a popular new deck. Haven't played it a whole lot on here though, as much as I'm kind of seeing it, at least on YouTube from content creators and stuff. I haven't seen it a whole lot on here. A whole lot of Bobas and some other stuff. Let's see what we've got. We have an Enticing Reward, which we could play on a 1-drop into like a power. So I think we won't mulligan here. We're going to aim to entice, like I said, Enticing Reward onto the power. Entrenched is nice into Ray because we don't have a lot of removal that can hit her because a lot of it is power based, but we don't need to, and probably don't need like a no good to me dead along with all of that stuff. So we'll pass. If they don't play anything, that's also okay because, yeah, so right into that Enticing Reward onto there. I really liked this line of play because it makes it like really rough on them. Like they basically like got to, let's see, we'll do that there. Like if they buff it, I mean like we're just going to power it, right? So let's see here. What do we want to pull? We can pull another power. That will probably get rid of whatever they play next turn, which will set us up pretty well, but it's not unique. So let's get a Waylay and a power, and then we'll discard the Waylay. We got another one. Yeah, they're really trying to go with this big space thing on us. Next turn, though, we can power and Bazine, so we'll power them again. And then let's see what we can pull with Bazine. So they can Lightsaber onto there is what they're looking to do. They could also like Rivals Fall our Boba, but that would be a little bit later. So I think we want to get this Lightsaber so that next turn we can hit their Yoda with our Boba. Let's see. We'll claim. Although, I forgot that they can like do that. Let's see, 5 or less. So we can still take down. I think that's just what we're going to do. Let's take down. So I think at this point they're in a pretty rough position, at least in the sense of... we can also search our feelings here. Okay, they're gonna split it, but that's fine. We're just gonna kill that. So we want to search our feelings and find a Vigilance, our first Vigilance. Or, I mean, like, we could also... let's see what they've got. I mean, we know they don't have, like, a lot of those low-cost units. If they're gonna try and drop Ray, we may search for our last, like, our last power. Yeah, let's do that. Does it put like a whole lot on board here? Well, because we could like play Greedo. But also that Inferno 4 is nice. It's just like a trade-off. But Inferno 4 is worse into their space units. We'll attack there. I think they're kind of like waiting for it, but we want to like, yeah, because now we can just do that. At least we drew one of our... okay, like 2 Avengers. Let's see, what else is there, like removal? We know they have like a Rivals Fall, which is sort of annoying for like our Avengers too. Do we resource? No, not like on the Bazine there. Okay, well now we're kind of stuck behind the Obi-Wan. It's just whether we want to entrench it or not. Okay, we can resource the Bazine. I guess we'll Enticing Reward the Obi-Wan, because I'll have to die sometime. preferably to an Avenger next turn. Get rid of the entrenched. Hopefully they're not going to chain these together. If they chain force throws, we may be in for a bad time. Okay. I mean, they still could with like the K2. Let's see. They're gonna attack us with that. To be expected. Okay. I guess this evacuate. I mean, they're just gonna like rivals fall us there. Man, especially, can they put experience on it? Like, what we really want to do is attack with Bazine there, heal, and defeat. But I mean, if they've got a rivals fall, they're gonna do that anyway. And at least they'll get rid of their units, and they'll have to think about which one it is at least. K2, they're going to discard. So we know Rivals Fall is coming, so it's just whether we want to try and land another Avenger or whether we're going to try and like do the Vigilance thing. Really, I'm going to keep the Avenger just because if it'll stick, I think that's going to be better for us. But a little bit of a toss-up in my mind there. Okay, they're going to do that, because we really also want to get rid of this Obi-Wan. I really like Fel the Dragon him now too, but we got a resource up to 12 so that we can chain loop our Bounty Hunter crews and our Vigilances. So we're going to do Avenger here, and let's draw into... He's unique, so we can get both a Fel and another Vigilance. We'll attack Bazine onto the K2, which will allow us to defeat and mill with our Vigilance next turn. Wonder if they're on like top end redemptions or anything. Probably should have just claimed there, because then I could have just like attacked with the Avenger to get rid of that K2SO. So misplay there. They're going to do a bunch of damage. Okay. We'll attack them. Misplay, misplay. They're going to make us discard. We'll get rid of that, make an opening. Sometimes switching between all those different decks, yeah. When you play like one deck like over and over and over again, you kind of start to know it like the back of your hand. And if you like switch between, sometimes when you switch, the first day or two can be like a little rough. But I should probably know better by now. Okay, we'll pass there. What did we get from them? All this stuff. Nothing like super great. They're down through 2 K2SOs. It just kind of depends on what their top end is at. I'm gonna start passing. We do resource up to 12 for that. Okay, sure. Inferno and takedown. And let's do... Just depends on like if they're gonna be... I think we're just gonna heal and mill them, I guess then. Just gives them 10. They're on top end Lukes. Got both of their Lukes there, so that was a pretty good mill. They're passing. Probably because they want to drop something, but they don't want it to die. But they're going to be at 26. And if we claim here, like we should have done the other time, and we attack first, okay, they're going to do like 4 damage to that. Oh, they're going to force fill themselves with the redemption. I got it. Okay, so here is where we can get the rest of their cards, because we can Bounty Hunter Crew into the Yoda and mill them, leaving 2 cards left in their deck, which is what we'll do here. Get the Vigilance, kill the Yoda. Actually, because of that draw from Yoda, oh no. They got 2. All that discard. We'll claim there then. Okay, Tarkin time to kill that. Okay, so this game is still kind of up in the air. I mean, they've got 7 left. We'll see all of that discard kind of got through a lot of our stuff. It works out pretty well. I know that's kind of like the theory behind that, so that you can do all that. So we'll pass here. Let's try and kill K2. If they don't, we're just going to draw. Okay. Then we'll do that. Oh, we had to discard. Oh, yeah, because of K2. Yep, I got it. Okay. So we'll claim just kind of what we're top decking here. And they're in a pretty good spot to be able to deal with this in the sense of like they can, she can like buff stuff with Rey, but like with Evacuate, it will be at least like a little rough for them because they're going to have to like try and replay all of this stuff. And they're going to start to like run out of cards. So I think we'll do the Bounty Hunter crew and hope they don't have like a whole nother pillage that they're saving, but they probably do because there's only one in there. So let's pull back another Vigilance. We will resolve the ambush. At least that kills the Sabine. Kind of expecting another pillage to pull both of those, but there's not one. Awesome. So here we can defeat and get the rest of their cards. So now they're just down to the 3 that they have in hand. They did have, maybe we pulled one of the pillage, maybe they're on just like 2. Okay, so we'll discard the Evacuate, but we can claim there, so I think they're kind of out of it. Oh, almost. Maybe hitting us for 4 with that, but it's not gonna matter because they're gonna lose right there. We got it. That discard was nasty. GG. Yeah, good game to them. Those pillages were, like I said, that nasty. I know I typed that. Those Avengers. Yeah, that was a great game. A lot of back and forth there. It was really nice. What did we discard to that? Yeah, he's talking about like when I have yeah, that was great. Let's tell. Alright, yeah, it keeps like popping back up. Okay, yeah, I mean, that was like a great game. I really love the back and forth between there. I mean, he almost like got us with that Vigilance. Nasty deck, I can see why people are playing it, why people are up on it. Seems nice. Maybe I'll try it out here soon. I think that will be it for these streams right now. Maybe what I'll do is, I know there is SCG Baltimore, I think, like this weekend, so I will pull up lists and we'll see. I'll make some predictions that may be proven wrong in the future. Let's see. I'll pause this and come back with those. Alright, for my predictions for SCG Baltimore, I know like for the 1Ks from last week, there was a Palpatine Green build that won. The second place deck was Boba Yellow, and Boba Yellow won another 1K, the TTI 1K. So I'm not sure that I've played a little bit with that and against that Palpatine Green build. I think it struggles a lot, even into some like yellow builds, especially like Boba Yellow. Just because of like the play patterns, and they're so low to the ground and they can push out so much damage, it can be really rough on them. And I'm expecting a lot of Boba Yellow, or at least like a fair amount throughout the tournament, just because it's been doing so well. People are used to the deck and the upgrades to it slot in really easily. I mean, don't mean this in a bad way, but like easy to understand upgrades that just slot into previous slots and just kind of like upgrade the deck versus like some entirely new kind of deck that we haven't seen before. So since it's a pretty early tournament, I'm expecting Boba Yellow to do pretty well. Top 8, I think will probably be 3 Boba Yellows. I'm guessing 2 Sabine Greens. I'm expecting to see 1 Kira Green, just replacing those Iden and Krennic builds, and then 1 Han Green in the top 8. So 3 Boba, 2 Sabine, 1 Kira, 1 Han are my predictions for the top 8. As far as like maybe board or maybe maybe decks that will be appearing there, I think Boba Blue is present. I mean, it's in like some top eights in like 1K and has done well in some scenarios. I think a Boba Blue deck may well appear in this. Probably a little more tuned than mine. This is just my kind of quick run at the changes. I know it's like a little different just because of like the Greedo and the Mining Guild tie lines have switched a little bit, and I think there's some better things maybe to be doing with enticing reward if it can be like worked out. But in any case, I think like a Boba Blue may be there, a Vader Green you could see there too, and maybe even the Palpatine Green. I'm not sure though. Like I said, I think it's pretty rough into like a lot of matchups. I know like a Palpatine deck may appear. I'm not sure it'll be that same green version of it though that we saw there, but it really kind of depends on the meta that we see there. Other than that, I'll come back at you next week after we'll see like whether my predictions were right, whether they were wrong. And I'll probably play one of those decks, the top decks that interest me sometime during the week next week, and we'll talk over that probably on Monday or so. But have a good weekend. Thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like the video so you can see more of it. If you want to keep up, please subscribe. If you've made it this long, you're a champ. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. I love looking through, seeing the views. I never thought even like 100 people would be watching, and I just got up to 100 subscribers, so feeling pumped about that. I know it's not like a huge number, but I mean, feels great to me. Like I said, I didn't think anyone would be interested in watching me play games or anything like that, but it feels so great to have people interested, to have people comment. If you have any ideas about this deck, the enticing reward lines, like how to change this up, make it a little bit more consistent, make it a little bit more powerful, or you've seen a deck on Karabast, played against one there or in person and went, whoa, wow, let me know. I'd love to try it out. I'd love to try out some different upgrades, try some new cards, and play it a little bit differently than I used to play it. Other than that, have a good day. Thank you for watching.